Have you checked the test?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Presentation. Okay. I was telling you the steps of chromatography. Okay. Previously, uh, in the previous slide, I told you the important terms which we use in chromatography. So there was stationary phase, mobile phase, solvent front, and RF value. Okay, so these are the four important terms which we use. Stationary phase is filter paper which we set it one time and we will not touch it again. Okay, mobile phase is the one which is solvent. Okay, the solvent which we take, it will move automatically by itself. Okay, because it will get absorbed by the filter paper. Next is solvent front and RF value. Okay, and today I'll tell you what is the solvent front and we'll calculate the RF value also. Okay, so the first few steps I told you about. Okay, we'll draw the original line with pencil and then we'll put a
Teacher,
drop of ink. Yes,
teacher, where is the filter paper placed?
filter paper is,
Hello.
we will hang it from the top. Okay, like
Okay.
by using some sticks or pencil. Okay, we will just hang it from the top. Okay, and we'll hang it such that its original line would be above the water level. Okay, above the
Okay.
water. Okay, and when the water travels upwards, because it gets absorbed in the filter paper, when the water travels upwards, it will the spot is ink spot will also travel and it will leave marks in the middle. Okay, so that's how we can identify actually that which colors are present, because as it moves upwards, it will leave the spots of different colors. Okay, so suppose it left mark of green color, then blue color, then red color. Okay, so it means that these three colors are present in this mixture. Okay, which makes the black ink. And now once water stops traveling at one point. Okay, water gets absorbed in the filter paper and a time comes when it stops traveling. Okay, it stops getting absorbed by the filter paper. We will take the filter paper out and we will mark this line till where the water travels. Okay, this line is called solvent front. Okay, then we'll take out the filter paper, we'll dry it by using a dryer or oven. Okay, or we'll let it dry in open air also. And after drying, this filter paper is known as chromatogram. Okay, filter paper name is changed to chromatogram because we have performed chromatography on it. So now it is called chromatogram. Chromatogram. Okay, this is also one more term which we use. Okay, now we will calculate the RF value. RF value is retention factor. Its full form is retention factor, and we will calculate this retention factor for all the pigments present. Okay, all the pigments or all the colors present. So how many colors are present in this ink? Hmm. Three. There are three colors present, three pigments. You can say them as components, also three components present. Okay, so we will calculate the RF value for each one of them. Okay, the formula of RF value is given in the book. You can see on page 418. On page 418, the formula is written here. RF value is equal to distance moved by the substance divided by distance moved by the solvent front. This distance you can measure by using a scale. Okay, so you must keep a good like a ruler with clear markings on it. Okay, clear measurements in centimeters. So we will measure the distance traveled by the water, okay, which is solvent front, and distance traveled by these individual substances by using scale. Okay, so once we take out the chromatogram, We'll let it dry, okay, and then we will measure the distance from the original line to the solvent front. Okay, we'll measure this distance from the original line to the solvent front. So this will give us our denominator. RF value formula is distance traveled by substance divided by, so it's a ratio. RF value is actually the ratio of two substances. Distance traveled by the substance divided by distance traveled by solvent front. Okay, this formula is written in your book. So just learn this formula, that what is in the denominator and what is in the numerator. Okay, so now this is the distance traveled by the solvent front from original line to the end point, the solvent front. Okay, so suppose this distance we measured by the scale and it comes out to be 20 centimeter. Okay, so this will be our denominator, 20 centimeter, distance traveled by the solvent front. Okay, now we will we'll measure the distance traveled by the substance. Okay, so for this is a substance D. We will mark it because we have this mark spread it in the surface. Okay, so we don't know that whether we have to take the distance from the end, from the starting of the spot, or from where. So we'll take it from the middle. Okay, to be equal, we'll take the distance from the middle of the spot to the original line. This will be our distance traveled by the green pigment, green substance. So for example, this is 5 centimeter. Then we'll take the distance of the blue color, okay, from the original line, blue color and the original line. We have to take all of them from the original line, okay, that till where it has been traveled. And the blue color is, for example, 10 centimeter, and similarly for the red color we will take the distance, suppose it's 15. Okay, so we will measure it by using a scale. Okay, so in exams, in papers, in assessments, you have to keep a scale with you, okay, with proper markings, so that you can take the distance. Okay, so we have taken the distances from original line to all the spots, all the substances present, okay, and from the original line to the solvent front. Now we will take out the RF value one by one. So RF value for green color is equal to, what is the distance traveled by the substance of green? Very good. And solvent front? What will be the answer? It will be 0 point something. Girls who are at home, do you have calculator? Please calculate. For the blue, it's 10 centimeter divided by 20. You should know this. It's half.
Is it
0.25. Very good. And this will be 0.75. Okay, RF values mostly they are small numbers like 0 point something, 1 point something, 2 point something. Okay, usually small values. Okay, numerator is always small number and the denominator is always large, because see, denominator is distance traveled by the solvent front, so it will be always big number. Okay, and the distance traveled by the substances will be small. Okay, so that's how you calculate the RF value, and these RF values, they actually tell us the solubility, that how much a substance is soluble in a particular solvent. Okay, so the solvent which we are using here is water. So how much these colors, at how much extent these colors are soluble in water. Okay, so if it is more soluble,
red is the most soluble.
Yeah, so red is the most soluble. Good. Okay, so it means 0.75. Red RF value is 0.75. So it means it has traveled with water till the end, and then it left a mark. Okay, so the least least soluble one is green color, so that's why it left the mark at the first. Okay, it left water, and then the blue color, and then red color. So it tells us about solubility. Also, we can identify the big pigments too by using chromatography. Okay, we can separate them also. Like here we have separated green, blue, and red. Okay, now I'll show you a video of chromatography. Okay, then it will be more clear that how the water travels and how it will leave the mark. Okay, like original video, and after that we'll see from the book. Okay. Wait, we cannot hear the voice now. Online girls, can you
Yes,
hear
we
it?
can. Yes, yes.
Good, so.
Separation of components from a mixture of red and blue inks by paper chromatography. Chromatography is one of the most important separation techniques and is extensively used to separate mixtures and their components. It was first employed by the Russian scientist Mikhail Svet. In the paper chromatographic technique, the mixture of substances is applied onto a Whatman filter paper strip in what is called the stationary phase. A pure solvent or a mixture of solvents is allowed to move slowly over the stationary phase. This moving phase is called mobile phase. When a mobile phase is moved over the mixture on the stationary phase, the components of the mixture gradually are separated from one another. Our aim here is to separate the components from a mixture of red and blue inks by paper chromatography. Materials required: chromatographic chamber with lid, mixture of red and blue inks, isopropyl alcohol water mixture, Whatman filter paper strip, fine capillary tube, thread, scale, and a pencil. Procedure: take a Whatman filter paper strip and draw a line with a pencil above 2 centimeters from one end. Draw another line lengthwise from the center of the paper. Name the point at which the two lines intersect as P. Take the mixture of red and blue inks using a capillary tube. Put a drop of mixture of red and blue inks at the point P. Allow it to dry in open air. Put another drop on the same spot and dry again so that the spot is rich with the mixture. Take a piece of thread and tie the filter paper to it. Suspend the filter paper vertically in the chromatographic chamber containing solvent, which is a mixture of isopropyl alcohol and distilled water. Make sure that the pencil remains about 1 centimeter above the solvent level. Keep the chamber undisturbed for some time. Notice the rising solvent along with the red and blue inks. After the solvent has risen, you will notice two different spots of blue and red colors on the filter paper. Take the filter paper out of the chamber and mark the distance that the solvent has risen on the paper with the pencil. This is called the solvent front. Dry the filter paper and put pencil marks on the center of the red and blue ink spots. Measure the distance of the two spots from the original line and the distance of the solvent from the original line. Calculate the RF values of red and blue inks by using the formula RF is equal to distance traveled by the component from the original line divided by distance traveled by the solvent from the original line. Precautions: always make use of a fine capillary tube. Keep the chamber undisturbed and covered during the experiment. The spot should be rich with the mixture.
This was so musical.
Extremely musical. Yes, girls, understood now?
Yes.
Online girls. The quiet girls.
Were the quiet
Hmm?
Were the quiet ones online or us?
Online girls are more quiet. The girls who come on campus, they speak a little bit, a bit. Okay, yes, online girls. Is it clear now, beta?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Uh,
video was very nice.
yeah, she explained it really well. Okay, now open your book, page 417. Okay, the same thing is written over here. You can see the stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Okay, the solution is spotted and allowed to dry. The original spot is identified as A. The solvent begins to move up the paper by capillary action. Okay, capillary action is due to the absorption, it will move up. Okay, because of the absorption. So that's the capillary action. Okay, it moves actually uh, against the gravitational force. Okay, gravity is that it will go down, but capillary action is that due to the absorption it will move up against the gravity. Okay, so capillary action against the gravity, moving upwards. Okay, moving upwards. Okay, the solvent moves up the paper, taking different components along at different rates. Stage 3 is the separation of the mixture is complete. The different components string out along the paper. Okay, on the paper it will be separated out. Okay, now here the paper chromatography was originally developed, same thing. The color substances separate if the pigments have different solubilities in the solvent. Okay, so the colors are separated according to their different solubilities. Okay, and the pigments have different degrees of attraction for the filter paper. Okay, because some of the pigments, they attract more towards the filter paper and some are attracted less towards the filter paper. Okay, some pigments particles are very small, some pigments particles are a little bit heavy. Okay, some are large in size. So depending upon their attraction towards the filter paper, it also differs. Okay, they will be separated out according to. So these are the two things. On the basis of these two things, the pigments will be separated on the paper. These two factors determine how fast the pigments move across the filter paper. A drop of concentrated solution is usually placed on a pencil line. Concentrated solution means
The one
more.
with more solute.
Hmm. Hmm. More solute and less solvent. Good. So we will put a drop of concentrated solution, means it will be rich in pigment. Okay, rich in solute. On the baseline or original line, near the bottom edge of the filter paper. Okay, the whole explanation is written: solvent front till where the water travels. In the last, it's written about chromatogram. So the filter paper on which we have done chromatography is known as chromatogram. Okay, after it has been dried. The keywords definitions are written: paper chromatography, solvent front, chromatogram. Then on page 418, it's written about the solvents. The different solvents can be used for different type of substances. Okay, so many different solvents are used in chromatography. Water and organic solvents. Organic solvents are hydrocarbons. Okay, organic means hydrocarbons, which are made up of carbon and hydrogen. The main component is carbon actually. Okay, organic solvents, carbon containing solvents such as ethanol, ethanoic acid solution and propanone are commonly used. Okay, propanone, the compounds whose name ends with "one", okay, or "none", these are ketones. Okay, so you will study this in organic chemistry chapter, organic compounds, ketones. Like we have alcohols, okay, alcohols, we have acids, bases. Similarly, we have one family, ketones also. Okay, so propanones, methanones, nones, ethanones, okay, all of them are ketones. We'll study them. Okay, when an organic solvent is used, the process is carried out in a tank with a lid to stop the solvent evaporating. Okay, for the hydrocarbons or for the alcohols, we have to put a lid on the top to avoid evaporating. Okay, now this one, this is the explanation of this experiment. Okay, this experiment is that we will identify the which components are present in a mixture. Okay, so this one is X. X is a mixture. Okay, we have a mixture and we will identify that either these substances are present in it or not. So on the same filter paper, we will put a drop of the mixture, okay, and the original colors A, B, and C, original pigments, okay, and when the water goes up, then these spots will also travel. A will leave a mark here, B will leave a mark here, and C here, okay, and X will also travel with water. So if X contains all these three, it will leave a mark. It will leave 3 marks, okay, if it is a mixture of these three. And if any of a substance is not present, then it will not leave a mark. So can you guess that which substance is not present in X? Yeah. Yes, online girls. Which pure substance is not present? A, B, or C? Are you here with me, girls? Yeah. Yeah. So tell me. See, this is a picture. Figure 21.16. Okay. X is a mixture, and it left 3 marks. Okay, you can see 3 marks: dark blue, light blue, and red. Okay, and you can see original colors A, B, and C also. So which original color, which color is not present in this mixture X?
Teacher, your voice is cutting.
My voice is glitching. Oh.
It's a robotic voice.
Hmm? It's glitching for all of you.
Teacher, your voice is cutting a lot.
Oh my god. Even I cannot hear your voice. Oh.
Teacher left. She left. Yes.
Girls, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Is my voice still glitching?
No. Yes.
It's clear now.
Little bit. I started here also. Okay, now tell me, yes, which substance is not present in a mixture? You have the book in front of you, you can tell me.
Teacher, your
When you
voice is
started
cutting again.
sharing it, started glitching.
Well,
Teacher, now it's glitching.
yes, girls. How's my voice now?
It's
Go.
fine.
Okay, yes, girls. B spot, B color is not present in a mixture, right? B is not present in a mixture. So this X is a combination of A, C, and some other pigment, unknown pigment, which we don't know. Okay, the unknown pigment. So we can calculate the RF value for all of these pigments. Okay, by using this formula. No, no. Hmm. Because human error is possible, no? Always. Human error is always there. So by using the scale, we can measure, but personal error, called personal error. Personal error and also instrumental error. Okay. So like if the question comes that why the value is not exact value which is given to you in the question. Okay, so sometimes it can come that RF value is given to you and they ask you to calculate, and if it is exactly the RF value which is given or not. So if it is not the exact value, so they can ask you that what will be the reason, what might be the reason. So you can ask that personal error can be there, okay, or instrumental error. There can be environmental error also, okay, because of the air and weather, environmental also. Sometimes it differs. And on the next page, 419. Okay, 418, 419. Here definitions are written, RF value, and there is word locating agent. This is the last term, which is important. Locating agent. Girls, can you hear me? Online girls?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher.
Okay. So, girls, the locating agent, this is actually locating agents, they are chemicals, okay, which we spray on the substances which are not colored. Okay, so sometimes the pigments are not colored. So after performing chromatography, as you can see here in this picture, that we have a chromatography paper, we put some spots, and after the water has been traveled and after we dry it, sometimes we cannot see the spots on the filter paper. We cannot actually locate them, okay, that where the spots are because they are transparent. So we will use certain chemicals, okay, we will spray them or we can just dip the paper one time in the locating agents. Then when we dry it off, then we dry off the chromatogram, then the colors will appear, colors of the spot. Hmm. Yes, after we have performed it. Okay, and it's better to spray, not to dip. Okay, so we spray it on it, so the colors will start. It will start to show the colors. Okay, so these are locating agents. You can see here in the definition, a compound that reacts with invisible colorless spots separated by chromatography to produce the colored product that can be seen. Okay, so it's really simple. Locating agents that it reacts with the colorless substances to produce colored spots. Okay, so mostly these locating agents, they are used for amino acids. Okay, what are amino acids? Huh? They're present in protein or they are proteins? Yeah, they are forms of proteins. I think they are present in protein. So inside the proteins there are different type of amino acids. So to locate them, we will first perform the chromatography that which amino acids are present in this protein sample. Okay, which amino acids are present, and amino acids mostly they are invisible. So we spray locating agent on them, so it will locate that these amino acids are present. Okay, so simple locating agent, and the reason is also written that why we use locating agents um, to make it appear, to make the colors appear. Okay, so this is the end of chromatography. Okay, then we have question answers, and these question answers, the question answers which are in the middle of the chapter, that those for these questions I told you that no need to do them in copy. Okay, so we have 3 questions. Question 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we'll discuss them in the next class. Okay, and after that, end of chapter questions. Okay. Okay, can go. Yes, online girls. Have you understood?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so you can go also. Allah Hafiz.
Love. Love.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, teacher.